issue which we are discussing here is reforms. And I'm very happy that I'm joined by Jagdeep Chokar, parishioner, founder member and trustee of ADR, an organization which tells you how, where and when the money is spent. You know, the data and graphics, every journalist would know about that. Thank you, Mr. Chokar, for joining me. Your opening comments on the judgment. Previously, I was speaking with Dr. Qureshi and I had asked him, what about the donors? You know, their names will be in the public domain now.
So name should be in the public domain. Why should the name not be in the public domain? Political parties are public institutions. They work for public causes, as they themselves say. And if for doing their work for public, they need money, public should give them money. And when public gives them money for public causes, what is there to hide?
Well put, sir. Very well put, sir. But then when this scheme came out, Mr. Chokar, it came out as part of an electoral reform. Court says it's unconstitutional, infringes on right to privacy. It says that, you know, it harms the participatory democracy. It also says that the right of privacy does not apply on the contribution. It is, you know, it eats into right to information. On those, the law has been set aside. My point is, what happened to the reforms then? What sort of reforms are required for elections? Because ultimately, it was a scheme to reform the funding part of the election.
You know, when it was introduced in the budget speech of the then
Mr. Jaitley,
now late finance minister,
yes,
in the budget speech, there were 2 paragraphs which talked about this. And the subheading for those 2 paragraphs was transparency in political funding. And in the afternoon of the same day, in a media interaction, the Honorable the Finance Minister said, the bonds will be, and I'm quoting him, the bonds will be in the nature of bearer bonds. The identity of the donor will be anonymous. End of quote. Since then, I have been asking people and writing that, please tell me or please show me a dictionary which says that anonymity and transparency are synonyms of each other. How can you have a transparent system which involves anonymity? This is the problem when we want to do something else and we say something else.
Okay.
So saying that we brought it for transparency is one thing, but the way the whole scheme operated was even more opaque than earlier, and with what the Solicitor General and the Attorney General said in the court, it is not selective transparency, it is selective disclosure. I mean, what is the difference? It is disclosed only to the ruling party. It is not disclosed to anybody else. How do you call that transparency? By what standard? I don't understand.
Okay, Mr. Chokar, can you please take my viewers through? Then how can you take my viewers through this question? How do the Indian electoral system resolve this issue of unknown contributor? You know, 20,000.
I will tell you. I will tell you.
Please.
I will tell you. It is very simple. There is no rocket science. When demonetization was introduced, do you remember that we were told, we the citizens of the country were told, that we should do all payment through digital means? And at that time, we were told that even if you want to pay 10 rupees to a rickshawala or to a vegetable vendor, we should pay it through Paytm.
Correct.
Just a minute. Paytm is of course gone, but there are other UPI-based systems which are available. We make the smallest of payment electronically. So why can't people pay money to political parties electronically? Why should political parties have a special provision that they can accept up to 2,000 rupees in cash? Why should they not accept even 10 rupees by UPI? That is the way the reform should be brought in. But the political parties as well as the corporates, do not want transparency. And I will tell you why they don't want transparency. I was in a TV discussion with a politician and with a corporate person, and both of them said that we want to give money in check, they don't want to accept it by check. I said, both of you can't be right. Then subsequent reflection, it dawned on me, give me a minute to explain this to you.
No, absolutely, please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
If you are a politician and I am a business person, actually I should put it the other way. Anyway, A politician and B business person, they agree that the business person will pay 100 crores to A. And let us say there is no, if there is a check, 100 crores get transferred. Of if there is an electronic transfer, 100% gets transferred. But if there is a cash transaction, the business person will not go himself or herself with 100 crores. He will send or she will send one of his representatives with the cash. Now, this representative of the business person who goes to the political party, he or she does not go to the head of the political party, not even to the treasurer. He goes to a lower level person to hand over the cash. So the business person's representative says, तो सेठ जी ने तो सिर्फ 90 करोड़ रुपया भेजा है, 100 करोड़ नहीं भेजा. And because there is no accountant, there is no receipt, so the political party rep says, all right, we will take 90 crores. And the political party rep goes to his boss and he says, sir, the business fellow has sent only 80 crores. So let us accept 80 crores. The point I'm making is, if the transfer of money is in cash, there is a what is called an individual versus an organizational issue. Individuals pocket a part of the money and political parties get the rest of the money. This is also what in part explains why a person who contests an election, even if he loses the election, his wealth increases much more than the average person's wealth. And if a person happens to become an MLA or an MP, his wealth increases by 5 or 10 times. And if the person happens to become a minister, of course, there is no end to how the wealth increases.
Okay, so there is a question. So, Mr. Chokar, you answer this question also with what you are saying. But a lot of people say that, if we fund money, there will be pressure from other political parties, we will have to pay a price for it. Suppose they lose the election, the party have fund, and the other guy comes in and says, हमको तो नहीं दिया था.
देखिए ऐसा है, when people pay money to political parties, if anybody wants to tell me they pay it because they believe in the principles and ideology of political parties, I will excuse myself.